Good evening, everyone, and welcome to this edition of the Primetime Newscast, the English language, on Canal, the International. And we begin with our top stories. It has been 6 months since the tragic and brutal murder of 6-year-old Shalom by a student nurse in Banganthi. Today, gathered in the family, home, friends, colleagues, neighbors, and classmates of the victim joined in prayers beseeching the Almighty for the repose of Shalom's soul. Shalom was a former class 1 pupil at Standard School in Banganthi. The family is asking for justice. And the streets of Douala have degenerated into a nightmare of commuters with potholes, flooding and crumbling infrastructure causing deadly gripback and vehicle damages, leaving residents frustrated and demanding action. We'll tell you more in this edition of Newscast. And the former CAF and FIFA President Issa Hayatou has been laid to rest. Issa Hayatou was laid to rest today in his hometown, Garoua, in the presence of FIFA and CAF officials. Those are major stories. Details right ahead. Good evening once more and welcome to this edition of the Primetime Newscast, the English language, on Canal the International. It has been 6 months since the tragic and brutal murder of 6-year-old Shalom by a student nurse in Banganthi in the west region of Cameroon. Today gathered in the family, home, friends, colleagues, neighbors, and even classmates of the victim joined in prayers beseeching the Almighty for the repose of Shalom's soul. The family is still demanding justice. More in the following story. This gathering serves as an opportunity to pray for the authorities to ensure that justice is served and to plead for the release of Shalom's body for proper burial. The essential thing we are doing here is presenting her soul and calling on God to accept her of evildoers, the heinous acts. We want justice. Since my child was assassinated, we were told the suspect had been arrested, but I had never set eyes on him. I don't know how he looks like, and the case has been dragging for too long. It is important to note that Sharon's body remains under seal in the morgue of the Banganthi District Hospital in the West region. Despite the family's wishes, the reconstruction of events has not taken place, and the identity of the student nurse accused remains a mystery to the family. According to well-informed sources, the alleged murderer is still under administrative detention. Today marks her 7th birthday, and because her remains are still in the world, even though her soul has returned to God, we said we should gather her friends and other family members to pay her homage. We equally want to thank God for being at the center and the strength, because it has not been an easy situation to handle, and God alone is our consoler.
Les enfants du quartier, pour qu'ensemble nous puissions dire merci à l'Éternel.
The tragic event occurred February 29th around 2:30 p.m. when Sharon was kidnapped and subsequently murdered in a residence approximately 50 meters from her family home shortly after school dismissal. The family continues to seek justice and closure, hoping for the truth to emerge and for their beloved daughter's body to be returned to them for a dignified burial. And fresh produce traders in Melong are grappling with significant financial losses as deteriorating road conditions hinder their daily operations. According to the mayor of Melong, economic distress within the municipality is the main reason behind the deployed or delayed road repairs in that part of the country. More in the following story.
The roads of Douala have become a notorious stretch of road synonymous with traffic congestion and vehicle damage. The road's deplorable state, punctuated by potholes and craters, has rendered it nearly impassable, forcing motorists to navigate through sidewalks and pedestrians to compete for space. These roads are not just worth it. We find ourselves every day in garage. These companies in charge of the construction of roads should equally take note of canalization of the gutters. During peak hours, the situation spirals out of control, with traffic jams stretching for kilometers and commuters struggling to cope. The Bedi Market area has become a particularly troublesome spot where vehicles are swallowed by gaping dips in the road. At times, it creates accidents. This disastrous state of urban roads is not unique to this axis, but has become a common feature across Douala's cityscape. Residents are fed up with the constant struggle to navigate these hazardous roads, calling on authorities to take action to repair and maintain the infrastructure. Imagine with the bad roads and traffic, if an ambulance have to get somewhere, it will really be difficult. The state has to see into this. The situation demands urgent attention to prevent further damage to vehicles, protect commuters' safety, and restores the city's transportation network to its glory.
That was what a report by Saleh Sharifa on the deteriorating state of roads in Douala. I will go back to Melong, where fresh produce traders are grappling with significant financial losses as deteriorating road conditions hinder their daily operations. More in the following story. Victor Ngwenkang, a fresh produce trader, is visibly upset. His vehicle broke down in the mud 3 hours ago, resulting in a significant loss of income. He emphasized the delay is costing him dearly, highlighting the daily struggles faced by traders in the area.
I
can't buy goods from the farms because of the poor state of the roads, and the drivers refuse to get inside, afraid their vehicles might be damaged. Even if you have to propose huge amounts of money, they will still turn it down. There is a hill right in front. When it rains, it's difficult for a car to climb. I have been on the road since 6 a.m. and every minute you have to push the vehicle because it's stuck in the mud. The motorbikes around help to transport our goods, but we the passengers are forced to trek. It's painful. Most of our produce gets bad because of the bad situation of the roads. It's difficult to transport them. Nadine Elonge, another trader, has also been forced to pause her activities due to the poor state of the roads. She disclosed how it's almost impossible to conduct business efficiently. Her frustration echoes frustrations of many locals in that neighborhood.
Tellement que la route est mauvaise, on ne peut pas s'en sortir. Ça ne tient pas avec la route. Hein? Nos vivres sont calés en brousse à cause de la route. Nous voulons et voulons, on ne cherche même pas trop. Mais c'est reste que le bain ici, c'est aussi un métier comme tout le reste des métiers.
According to the mayor of Melong, the economic distress within the municipality is the main reason behind the delayed road repair projects. He states they are aware of the issue, but the financial constraints have stalled their efforts. The mayor stated acknowledging the pressing needs for infrastructure improvements.
Un moyen comme ça peut prendre presque toute la journée. Hein? Presque toute la journée. Et quand vraiment on voit comme ça, finalement, même le chauffeur, tout, il prend tout l'argent. Avant d'arriver en ville, même tu te retrouves même à perte, tu n'as rien de bon, vu l'état des routes. Moi, je ne sais pas. La route est vraiment très mauvaise.
In the meantime, rural populations must endure the arduous journeys imposed by the challenging road conditions. The population disclosed it's a daily struggle, capturing the widespread sentiment of frustration and resilience among the affected communities. 3 friends of private secondary school in Yaounde went on a revenge mission on another woman they claim have taken their friend's girlfriend in the course of the dispute battle and counter combat. Their victim received a stab that claimed his life. Our reporter, Beatrice Ngamo, has been following up that story for us. Her story.
Adolescent minors, students of a school in Yaounde, engaged in a dispute because of a girl. The fight started at a ceremony where their friend saw his girlfriend with another guy. The dispute between the two started that day, but it was not over. Meeting again while watching a football match, the other said the victim threw provocative slangs and that erupted a fight. They left the field to the streets still fighting.
Ils sont encore sortis de orthodoxe. Ils ont toujours continué la bagarre. C'est là où lui fuit alors et il part chercher alors le retour.
And sensing the victim and friends are dominating, he called for his friends, what is popularly known as the retour.
Il avait le couteau. Je ne sais pas s'il voulait disperser la foule. Je ne sais pas, c'est par accident. Ça a pris le dos du défunt.
The battle began afresh despite efforts to understand the issue. And from nowhere, a knife came out and got the back of the victim. This was on August 3rd.
Il a commencé à vomir le sang. Il vomit le sang et ça sortait par les narines.
Realizing it was serious, the one who stabbed the victim took off on a bike. Fearing, they all left. As later, the victim, who was rushed to a nearby hospital, gave up the ghost. We immediately opened investigations that led to the arrest of 3 suspects, all minors, among them the main author. We equally seized the crime weapon, occasion to make appeal to parents. Parents should be more watchful and vigilant on the behavior of their children and company. This retool is another common phenomenon to properly contain, especially among adolescents.
And the former president of CAF and FIFA, Issa Hayatou, has been laid to rest today in his hometown, that is Garoua, in the presence of FIFA and CAF officials, including Gianni Infantino and Dr. Patrice Motsepe. They were joined by Cameroonian ministers Gabriel Bairobe and Issa Chiroma Bakari, along with other administrative authorities, parliamentarians, and well-wishers. His passing marks the end of an era for African football, as Issa Hayatou was a monumental figure in the sports development on the continent. The people of Garoua turned out in their large numbers of holding messages of welcome and tribute throughout the ceremony. Issa Hayatou's legacy in football is profound. He served as a president of the Confederation of African Football CAF from 1988 to 2017, significantly contributing to the growth and global recognition of African football. During his tenure, he also held the position of interim president of FIFA. His efforts paved the way for the increased participation of African teams in international competitions and development of football infrastructures across the continent. And Issa Hayatou was made president of CAF for nearly 3 decades and one-time interim president of FIFA. Died on August 8, 2024 at the age of 77 in Paris. In the following report, Tariq Divan Jr. tells us more about the man Issa Hayatou.
The immortal remains of the late former president of the Confederation of African Football, CAF, Issa Hayatou, are about now being laid to rest in his hometown Garoua in northern Cameroon. Hayatou, who was president of CAF for nearly 3 decades and one-time interim FIFA president, died on August 8, 2024 at age 77 in Paris. His remains arrived at the Yaounde Simalène International Airport Thursday to a solemn welcome by several football dignitaries from the continent and beyond. Amongst them were the former president of the Confederation of African Football, Ahmad, from Madagascar. And it is worth recalling that Ahmad succeeded Issa Hayatou at the helm of the Continental Football Governing Body. Also present was Hayatou's longtime friend Constant Omari and FECAFOOT President Samuel Eto'o, amongst others. Current FIFA President Gianni Infantino and CAF President Patrice Motsepe are expected to partake in the funeral, a reflection of the popularity of the African football management heavyweight. Meantime, President Paul Biya will be represented at the event by Sports Minister Narcisse Mwele Kambi.
And that's how we saw it on this edition of the Primetime Newscast in the English language on Canal the International. Thanks so much for watching. But coming up next is The Brief with Matthew Fangwa.